Hello, hello. Today is January 13th, 2023, and the word of the day is awakening. Awakening, awake, awakened. And so there's like many different perspectives on awakening, but they share similar traits. And basically, awakening is how I see it is awakening from something that you didn't even know you had going on. What do I mean by this? Like, I was asleep, unconscious, unaware of a certain reality that existed outside of my own personal reality until I experienced spirit. I experienced something greater than my personal reality. And when this happened, it was such a radical transformation that happened within me that I couldn't go back to what I knew. Like I couldn't go back to the egoic self or the perceived self that was projected onto me that I accepted as my identity. Even though I didn't believe it 100%, I didn't have something to compare it to, like awakening to my divinity. I needed that kind of awakening. And that's exactly what happened. And so some of the things that happen when you awaken to your divinity, you stop accepting the perspectives that others put on you, like how they see you, unless they resonate with your state of consciousness, of your awareness, and your true knowing of who you are. And you can see that if they're speaking from fear or from love, like you become very conscious of manipulations, dishonesty, and you have a different walk of life. You just know it, and in your intuition becomes highly sensitive. And you become sensitive to animals, nature, like global things, humanity, and you become more concerned with service and how to make a difference in the world. Basically, you question who you are and why you're here, and to fulfill that mission and that purpose. And there's different ways that are out there that people say you can awaken. And I mean, the only thing I would add is like, it doesn't have to happen through a traumatic event, although many awakenings happen through like a divorce, a death, loss of a job, something that really shifts your perspective. Basically, it shakes you. And unfortunately, like mine happened that way, but fortunately it did happen because not everyone will awaken to their divinity in this lifetime. And that is a sad reality, but it's true because I understand it on a different level. Like everybody is evolving at a different stage, and some people are going to be open to this, and some people are going to be like, nope, this is not for me. And rightfully so, it's not in this lifetime. But for me, it is. And if you're here, it's probably for you as well. And if it's not resonating, I suggest you leave, because this will torment you. It'll make you miserable. And that's not the point of this. The point of this is to reach a state of bliss. Of course, awakening is just the beginning. Because once you realize a reality outside your own personal reality that exists, that is magical, that is beautiful, that is all loving, you will not want anything else this world could give you. Because you will already know that everything in this world is already yours, first and foremost. And you know that you can attract those things to you at will. So you're in a very powerful position to awaken to who you are. And so my awakening happened the way it did. And I feel that you can awaken through a smoother process by being curious, by being open-minded, by being willing. And in actuality, mine started through curiosity. The curiosity that there was a love that I wasn't experiencing in my before awakened reality that I was in pursuit of. And I really thought it was like a romantic relationship, and it wasn't. And how limiting that would have been. Because now that I know what I know, a romantic relationship could never give me the bliss, if you will, like all the things, the self-love. Because I have experienced this awakening, I know my value, I know my worth, regardless of other people's perspectives of me, other people's fears of who, other fears they're living on that they want to project onto me, manipulation mechanisms, all the things. Like, I'm aware of who I am. And once you become awake and aware to who you are, conscious of who you are, you have something to compare to. This doesn't match. I reject that. Nope, can't accept that. Oh, you're telling me that that's not how the world works. No, that's how your world doesn't work. My world works this way. You stop taking in the illusions of others. And to me, that's empowering. And I'm not saying like it's always been like that. It's been a journey for me of accepting this awakening, learning what works for me, what doesn't work for me, getting lost, getting back in and practicing, and now walking the talk. And so awakening can happen through a traumatic event, or it can happen through you being curious and moving in that direction. Seek and you shall find. I like that one. Seek and you shall find. And that I did. I was seeking a love that I knew was real, and I found it. And it was beyond my wildest dreams. And I look forward to expressing it in the 3D as I move forward on my journey. And so the first step is awakening to who you are and what you're here to do, to this presence, to this spirit that essentially is you. in the 3D form. And so the work becomes connecting with this part that is essentially you, is you, embodying it, and then expressing it word, action, right? Feeling in all the ways that this idea would express itself in you, because we all have different dispositions, likes, dislikes. And becoming aware and awake to who you are as a spiritual being, and awake and aware as a human being, are interconnected and interrelated because they are complementary and they work in unity when there's an alignment of mind, body, and spirit. You know, there's like this gorgeous manifestation of a human being known as you when you're playing the notes to the best of your ability and being yourself. Being authentically you is the most beautiful expression you can ever offer yourself and the world. And so when I say awake, I would say awake, aware, conscious of, know as. And so until you're aware of something, it's not real. And also, being aware of our limiting beliefs and perceptions about ourselves that we've internalized helps us clear them out so we can be more available to who we truly are. Because as long as this is operating in our mind, like anything negative, that's really not contributing to your light and the love that you are, limits the channel. Because spirit is, supreme is not the right word, is what I'm looking for. But basically, spirit can't operate where there's like, let's say your pipe has like a lot of anger and a lot of fear and a lot of judgment and a lot of shame and a lot of guilt and a lot of whatever it is, right? So the pipe might be like this tight. And so this much spirit can come through you, flow through you. But the more you start cleaning out that space, your pipe widens. And so it's just a matter of how wide do you want that pipe to open up? Well, my goal is bliss, ultimate bliss. I intend to embody bliss because I know that that is real. And so that's what I practice every day, like my practice, my cleaning of my internal state, my mind, the beliefs that I have about myself, which I then project onto others if I'm not emotionally intelligent. And I spread that mess all around. And that's another thing. It's one thing to be unconscious and spreading this around. Not that's an excuse. But what happened to me is when I awakened to who I was, I became terrified of spreading mess onto other people, even though I didn't know how not to, because I knew they were holy. Because when I saw who I was, I saw who every human being was. And that terrified me, knowing that I had thoughts in my head about other people, and also the power that we have through our thoughts to affect other people. It's kind of like if you throw trash on the street, it affects your neighbors. It affects people that, or you throw trash in the parking lot, that affects the people that are coming to park. It's the same thing with our thoughts. And so it becomes a matter of cleaning out those thoughts, and cleaning out those thoughts really raise our vibration. And we can allow more spirit into our awareness and awaken, aware. So currently, I'm cleaning out self-worth. And until you're ready to become aware of something, like look it in the eye and be honest with yourself, it's going to stay underneath the surface of your consciousness. It's not like it goes anywhere. It's kind of like plays in the background, and you don't know why this is, like, let's say a certain circumstances happening in your life. And this takes like a level of awareness and consciousness. So like the stronger you get, like the more conscious you become, the more energy is there, the more love is there, more compassion is there for you to take a look at things that maybe you didn't want to look at. And then uproot them. And what happens is when you uproot them, you're able to plant the new seeds of consciousness that are truth about yourself. And you're like, no, that's not true. I'm not an idiot. For example, I am infinite intelligence. So what I've come to realize is self-worth is a huge root for me. And it's understandably so based on my background, my historical background. And so because I'm at where I'm at, I'm able to look at that without getting hooked into it again. I'm aware that because of this, I understand it and I have compassion. But there was a time in my life that I believed that I was that. And I didn't have the tools and the energetic state to uproot it. And so now that I'm in a different place and space within my consciousness and physically, I am able to uproot it for good. And what this does also, it helps me hold the space for other people who are still struggling with self-worth, because I can unwind it and I can hold the space for them to come into their knowing, awareness, and truth of their self-worth. So this work is not only like for me, like you can't give somebody something you don't have. So I have to have something in order to give it to someone else fully, wholly, and completely. Now, I don't have like zero self-worth, but I know that there's so much more self-worth to be had, right? I'm not settling for mediocre. I'm going for excellence. And so I'm willing to do the work within me to embody my divinity and become awake and aware of all that I am, which is limitless, which is infinite. So it's never like I'm going to get there, but because you never get there, it's ever evolving consciousness. However, I'm in the game. And being in the game is the funnest part because you get to experience all these amazing things on your journey. Not only do you become awake to who you are, you get to express who you are, not only from inside, but also outside. It's very complementary. So it's like you're manifesting the things as well as feeling amazing. And so I love this journey and I'm looking forward to more awakening, expansion, awareness of who I am, who more of me I'm here to be, and to share that with other people in hopes that they will know who they are and become everything that they're here to be. And self-express, not only spiritually, but physically. And from what I kind of get from what's out there is basically this is the trajectory of the human path, is to self-realize back into oneness, but not only 10 people, it's all humans will get there one day. Maybe not in this lifetime, but maybe through another lifetime. And the global consciousness will be awake to their true identity and live from that place and do the things from that place and have the things from that place that they know to be absolutely and ultimately true. The truth is your worth was never in question. Your value was never in question. It's just that other people became asleep and unconscious of their own divinity and became more aware of their own ego and lived out of fear. And that's what people do when they're unconscious and asleep, living from their ego. They oppress other people. They're not aligned with their total light, at least not yet. But the whole journey is awakening to the light that's within us and in everyone else. And being that light until that happens and doing the work that needs to be done until our time on earth is over, or we get to reincarnate and come back. I totally believe in reincarnation. And I don't understand, like, I may not agree with like how philosophies discuss it. I might agree with some of it, but I know that this is not my first rodeo. And so that's all I have to say about awakening today. It's been a long video and I'm getting tired. And so I'm trying to think of homework, and I don't know if I have any homework for you. I think it's just more like being aware of who you are and who you're not, and not allowing other people to project things on you. It's not like you have to fight them. It's just like listening to their perspectives and see if what they're talking about is coming from their own limited beliefs and how that may trigger you to feel fear. And just know that that's not the truth. And you have more self-work to do to evolve into higher states of consciousness, and to be able to see that when that's happening and not take that on as your true identity, and become awake more and more, ever expanding awareness of who you truly are as the light of this world. So that's all I have to say today. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.